listeners to Wrestling Goons Radio. We are here to prepare you all for another exciting episode of the Raw Review. And I'm your host, Dan Tanner. And my co-hosts for today is Mark and Anthony. To get things off, we'll start with the opening segment of Raw, which featured the Authority doing their promo and mentioning how great they were at Mania, with the exception of Kane, of course. Anthony, your thoughts on this promo and your thoughts on the Authority's accomplishment at Mania?
It was one of the first times that I've seen a crowd react positively to Kane outside of being around Daniel Bryan. That really shocked me. They kind of felt bad that he was excluded from the WrestleMania stuff. But yeah, the Authority pretty much has every right to brag. They backed up everything they said they were going to do at WrestleMania, so it served its purpose. I enjoyed the opening segment.
Mark, your thoughts on the opening segment and the accomplishment that the Authority have made at Mania?
They ran the table in just about all of what they wanted to accomplish with the Randy Orton. Although he picked up the pinfall on Seth Rollins, Rollins finished out the night strong, getting the triple threat win. Big Show showed that he was a true giant, and poor Kane just getting the brunt end of the Authority picking on him. And we don't see Triple H and Stephanie because they're on vacation.
Yeah, I think they're probably like away because Triple H probably healing his bruised thigh that he suffered at Mania or something. Anthony, you think the Authority are really on vacation or something?
Yeah, no, I don't think I think they are definitely on vacation, but I just think that they're going to take some time out of the storyline for a few minutes. They're not really needed right now, you know what I mean? Because you wouldn't really be able to have the Authority fall apart if they were there to control it. So if the Authority's going to break up, they can't be around to, be present.
Yeah. Also, we see the return of JBL and Booker T and your boy, Saxton.
Yeah, Byron.
Yeah.
No emotion, Byron Saxton.
Yeah, we're going to miss Michael Cole, unfortunately.
Words we thought we'd never say.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't plug in the app like every 5 minutes, he's okay.
It's been a long time, knock on wood. Like now we just get the network every 5 seconds, so.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
Later on that first segment, we see Orton comes out, talks about how he deserves to be the #1 contender, and, because he beat Seth Rollins at Mania. But we find out that Kane will issue a triple threat match later on tonight where each person will face someone. The next match was Kane versus Orton. Mark, your reaction to this match?
I think it did its purpose. It got Kane ending it in a DQ. He really didn't care about the match, I don't think. It was just a way to soften up Randy Orton going into the triple threat.
Yeah. Anthony, your thoughts on this first match?
Typical, bad foreshadowing whenever you know that somebody says, I don't care about winning, I just want to hurt you. You can pretty much go ahead and bank on that person having success later on. I totally threw that out the window with my logic, so I just didn't understand what happened at the time. But the match itself, up until that point, was okay, I guess.
Yeah, it was pretty basic. It was nothing. So, without revealing probably the ending, it looks like Orton is probably the Authority's #1 target. Would you agree?
Yeah, without a doubt, right now, for sure.
Mark, you agree?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's the biggest challenger that Seth's going to have coming up right now, especially in the Authority's eyes.
This feels like the Corporation and Stone Cold all over again to me.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, we have a backstage segment, which featured the return of Brad Maddox kissing up to Kane. Also, they announced AJ's retirement once again. Rollins going off on Kane, not talking about he's not pulling his weight around. Kane reminding him that, hey, if it wasn't for me helping you, you wouldn't be Mr. Money in the Bank. Mark, your thoughts on Brad returning?
Well, for the 2 seconds that he returned, I thought it was really good, but maybe later on down the road we're going to see him vie for Kane's spot as like the director of operations or leading Monday Night Raw. I don't know where they're going to go with it, but hopefully we get to see Kane break away from the Authority. I think that would be great for his long term, probably his last couple runs.
Yeah. Anthony, your thoughts on the return of Brad Maddox?
I'm a huge Brad Maddox fan. I have been since day one, which upset me even more that they teased me with a 3-second appearance and you don't even know why Brad Maddox was there. Like one minute I blinked, I literally blinked my eyes, and when I opened them, it went from Brad Maddox on my screen to Seth Rollins. So I don't even know why he was there still. Come back, Brad. We need you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see him out the cave, closet, whatever, you know. Also, Anthony, your thoughts on the AJ retirement?
I'm still hurt, man. We're almost a good week into it now, and it still doesn't seem real. I want to wake up and it be a bad dream.
Yeah, I agree. She's sorely missed. She's one of my favorites, and I still can't believe it. Mark, your thoughts on AJ's retirement?
Part of me kind of wants them to tell us all that it was just an April joke, not an April Fool's joke on April 1st, but an entire month of April they ran with this joke. They keep mentioning her on TV, so I don't know why they do it, but apparently they think that she'll be greatly missed too, I guess.
Do any of you guys see anybody stepping up to probably take her spot or fill those big shoes? Because she was a very important diva in that division, and
she's
it's
more
going
than
to take.
she's more than a normal diva. Like she does so many other things. She's been a general manager. She's been involved in love triangles. I think that nobody can replace her. It's going to have to be a group effort. Like so many other women are going to have to step up. But I think they can. I think because they only have one segment a week anyway, or one match a week anyway, that, you know, it's not going to be that big of a hit if they have a bad segment.
Yeah. Mark, who do you think is going to probably step up?
Yeah, I'm with Anthony. I think that it's going to have to be a group effort. As far as promos goes, not one of the divas in that locker room can cut a promo better than AJ right at the moment.
Not even close.
So filling her shoes is going to be a tough effort, but hopefully they pull up some people from NXT to help and just overall give all of the divas more of a chance, and hopefully somebody comes through and shines.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm a fan of Charlotte, so hopefully she's caught up soon, and we can see what she can do. Next up, we have Rollins versus Adrian Neville's, or drop the Adrian and it's just Neville's match, which was not a bad match. I thought it was probably the best match of the night. Mark, do you think this was a good match?
I think it was a great match, and in his second match on Monday Night Raw, he goes up and faces the WWE Champion. Seth worked over well with him. He got heat. Neville got the great crowd pop. You even saw J&J Security do a little run-in, so it wasn't a clean beat. So I thought Neville looked great coming out of it. Seth continued to get more heat. It was just a great overall match and segment.
Yeah. Anthony, your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, it was awesome. Neville is making one of the biggest first impressions I've seen in quite some time, probably outside of the Lucha Dragons, which is further proof, ladies and gentlemen, that NXT will no longer developmental. NXT is a brand within itself, and when they get to Raw, they are almost bigger than the show itself. And it shows so far with all the big names. Alright, I'll give you that Bo Dallas and Adam Rose were both extreme letdowns, okay? But besides those two, in the Ascension, okay, they suck too. So, alright, so it's hit or miss with it, man. Well, you got Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins. Now you're bringing up Adrian Neville. They got that right. They got the Lucha Dragons right. The future is now, man. They're not lying with that catchphrase at all.
Yeah, thought this match was great, like I said before. I was disappointed with the fact that this was like Neville's second match and it was going to go against Seth Rollins, and we kind of had an idea of who was going to win this match. But this is probably one of the rare times where I feel like a win or a loss didn't hurt him, really. Mark, do you feel that way? Do you feel like maybe losing to Rollins could hurt him?
No, not at all. You're going up against the champion, and it's your second match, and you, like I said earlier, you had outside interference. Seth couldn't beat him cleanly by himself, so I mean, you just took the champ one-on-one, toe-to-toe, and you lost, but you barely lost.
Yeah.
Replace Seth Rollins in the role of Kurt Angle, and replace Adrian Neville in the role of John Cena. That's what it felt like. It just felt like Adrian Neville was getting that kind of Cena build that Cena got early. And if that's the case, his future is really, really bright.
Yeah, I want to see more of this match, but I don't want to see that fundamental goody-o match. I want to see, like, how they were in the indie days, but we're not going to get that more than likely.
You know, I don't think they're going to restrain Neville much, man. They let Neville fly around and do everything the Neville does.
Well, that may be true, but I would like to see more of Seth Rollins, what he can do, what we know he can do.
Well, that's the difference, though. You can't let your World Heavyweight Champion take spots like that.
Oh, maybe so. I mean, there are risks of him injuring himself, though, but maybe somewhere down the line we can see them really go at it.
Maybe.
Well, that's another thing, though, too. Like you said, it's only his second match. Do you want the champ to try to give his best? If that was the case and Neville lost really, really cleanly, then I could see the loss hurting him. But since Seth didn't pull out all the stops, you could always say, well, hey, I didn't give it my all. I really didn't think much of this kid.
Yeah. Before we move on, quickly, who do you think is going to be next to be called up?
Probably... God. Tyler Breeze.
Mark, who do you think?
Yeah, I'd either have to go with Tyler Breeze or Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I gotta go with Sami Zayn. It seems like it's a pattern. Once you win the NXT title or whatnot, and then you lose it, you're being called up.
I feel like they have to pay off the Owen Zayn feud, though. They haven't yet.
You said they owe him a feud?
They gotta pay the feud off. Like, he went away for a while, Sami Zayn did. He has to get revenge on Kevin Owens before he goes to the main roster.
I see. But hey, how long has Sami Zayn been down in NXT?
Since it started, he was in the first initial episode.
Oh, okay. So he's been there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty sure you're going to be excited when Kevin Owens get called up.
Oh my God, yes. He's got a long way to go, though.
Yeah. Next match we have Cena doing his open challenge, and out comes Stardust to take the opportunity. Anthony, I know you're a Stardust fan and not a Cody Rhodes fan. Your thoughts on this match here?
I love how the crowd continues to just scream Cody at him. And it's even more reason why you gotta leave him the way he is. Because when you take that away from him, that's one more heel thing that he doesn't have to work with. The John Cena challenge is quickly becoming my favorite segment of the week. And you got John Cena wrestling people that he normally wouldn't wrestle, and he's making them look good by having good matches with him. I love it, man. I love getting a title match every single week. Give me more of it. Hopefully he does it on SmackDown too. But it looks
Yeah.
like they're gonna have Daniel Bryan doing the same kind of thing on SmackDown. So he's gonna be doing open challenges for the Intercontinental title.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. It kind of makes me want to check out SmackDown, but I don't know.
He actually
Mark,
does
your
it
thoughts
this
on this
week,
match?
FYI. Just saying.
Yeah. Mark, your thoughts on this match and the idea of the weekly open challenge?
The match itself, I thought, was really good. You opened the show with two amazing matches, and that was a great start to Monday Night Raw. As far as the open challenge goes, I'm with Anthony. I think it's great. I think it helps build your mid-card and elevates them to a quasi-main event status going up against the Golden Boy and John Cena. And he can work great matches with those guys, and it's a bright future for the U.S. Championship.
It really feels to me like John Cena's at a point in his career where he really cares about what the rest of the roster is doing. And that is great for business.
Definitely. In fact, we'll touch base on that later on the show. Quickly, Anthony, who do you think probably will accept the open challenge? The next three people.
I'm gonna go Luke Harper. I'm gonna go Ryback. And my third, I'm just gonna throw a name out there and say, you know what, I'm gonna go with Kane.
Yeah. Mark, your three picks.
I got Luke Harper, Ryback, and Curtis Axel. Axelmania has to run wild at some point against John Cena.
Yeah. I just want to mention that Cena has improved in the ring, I think so. Of course, he's a great worker, but I like seeing him now, or I've noticed that he's been using some new stuff. The bad side of this open challenge is that he's like winning and winning and winning and winning. But the three people that I think probably will accept the challenge would be probably Mizdow, Luke Harper, and I don't know, Bo Dallas. Who knows?
I got a challenge for you, Dan. When you watch the next episode of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, I want you to try really hard to take wins and losses out of the equation when you're watching a match and see if you enjoy the match more or less when you take it out. Because I'm telling you that they really don't matter as much as you think they do. They really are irrelevant.
I would try that. I would.
You
definitely
might
try that, but with John Cena, it's almost nearly impossible.
But because you know John
because
Cena,
he wins all the time, we know he's gonna win.
Yeah, you know he's gonna win, so you just watch the match and you see if he made Cody look good or if he made Dean look good. As long as he got their offense looking good and you think, oh my God, they got a chance. Because if you take that away and they win and they beat him one week and then they're the U.S. champion, then if they fight somebody else of a lower status, it doesn't matter as much. If John Cena's like that person, though, it matters.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because last week when he went against Dean Ambrose, that was a great match where both looked good, despite the botch spot last week.
And he made Stardust look good. That was a great match.
Yeah. Mark, you have any final thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm with Anthony. Just watch the match. Don't even try to determine who's going to win or lose, because, I mean, obviously we know John Cena's probably going to win. And just see if John Cena elevates people to his level. You know what I'm saying? Like, to a main event caliber. Because you know already John Cena is the main event, pretty much.
See, my motive in this is once you get to that point and you're able to do that, you're going to respect the guy we're going to talk about a little bit later on, Bray Wyatt. But we'll get there.
Oh, boy. All right, moving on, we have a Tag Team Divas match, which is the Bella Twins versus Paige and Naomi. And I think this had the there should have been Paige and AJ match written all over it because, I don't know, we've seen Paige and AJ tag team quite a bit. Mark, your thoughts on this Divas tag team match?
I agree that they probably had this written out sometime way in the past that this was going to be a match between Paige and AJ and the Bellas, and it probably would have been a payoff or leading to a payoff in that whole tag team feud that they've been going on at. And I heard that AJ didn't drop the news to WWE that she was retiring until after Mania, so that probably is the case. But as far as the match itself, I thought Naomi did really good. I think that she's stepping her game up. And I enjoyed the ending not being with the back end bump or whatever it is that she does, and it was the head scissor lock DDT.
Yeah. Anthony, your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I agree with what Mark said, and you as well, about how it just felt like they just took AJ's name and scratched it out and picked Naomi as the next person just randomly. I hope that they keep the butt bump as at least a signature move. Like, it doesn't need to leave her arsenal because her badonkadonk is her moneymaker, and that's what got her to the dance. And what gets you to the dance, you stay at the dance with. But I agree, though, it's not a great finisher, and that head scissor DDT is awesome.
Yeah, that is her moneymaker. I'm not going to deny that. But as a finisher, or whatever, yeah, get something else.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So, basically, AJ's gone. What are the chances we see more Divas get exposure? Because she's pretty much let the whole give Divas a chance.
They're gonna have to. Maybe, and you know what? Maybe that's why she did that. Maybe they started to give Divas a chance because she knew she was on the way out, and she wanted to leave the division in better hands. Yeah, they're gonna have to, man. They're obviously not gonna have AJ walk through that curtain, so they gotta put somebody in there.
Yeah. I have much more respect because of the fact that, let's just say she knew she wanted to retire or leave. And the fact that she could have been all about herself, but guess what? She's trying to get, the Divas some sort of face value or something in the company and, exposure. And then she goes and, maybe we'll see more Divas step up. But I don't know. It's not going to be the same, I feel like. I'm still crushed. Mark, your thoughts?
Yeah, I enjoy the Divas division, and I hope that they do give Divas a chance. But yeah, you're right. I think AJ always talked about wanting to leave the division better than she found it, and she put over Bayley really big with the "I'm a Hugger" shirt at her last match. She had mentioned Charlotte and Sasha and Emma and Becky and all of them before in her speech giving the Slammy Awards. And so, yeah, hopefully all the Divas step up more. Maybe, hopefully, it's not just one or two that tries to fill her shoes, and hopefully the whole entire division steps up. Only time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. She's going to be sorely missed. Next up, we have the primetime players mocking New Day in the Ascension. I thought this was some funny stuff right here. Anthony, your thoughts on this mockery?
Yep, they are coming into their own, the primetime players. I like how they use them to start turning the New Day heel, which is, God, the only option with them, which thankfully that's what they're doing. I don't know why they cut it from on the Ascension, because they're just there. Like, the best thing Ascension can do is to go back to NXT and admit that their gimmick sucks and come up with something else, because they're terrible.
Yeah. Mark, you thought this segment was funny, and do the Ascension suck, really?
I don't think that the Ascension themselves suck. I think that the face paint and the trying to be the new Demolition and Road Warriors and all that sucks. I wish they'd go back to the darkness that they were in NXT with.
Yeah.
But as far as the primetime players go, the last 2 weeks, these short little promos that they've been doing about making fun of other people, that's been their best work so far on the mic, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I'm now a fan of theirs. Wasn't in the beginning when he first came out, but basically, since they reunited, I've been pushing for the. Well, I want them to get a push, and they deserve a push. And
it's gonna come out of nowhere, actually.
Yeah, come out of nowhere. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Anthony, do you think they deserve a push?
Absolutely. What else are you gonna do? I mean, really, you got the Lucha Dragons, and you got the Lucha Dragons. So, primetime players, Lucha Dragons. You got Tyson, Candice, Cesaro. Yeah, I'm good with those three, man. Give me those three teams. I don't even need anybody else right now.
Mark, you think the primetime players deserve a push? Or should get a push?
Yeah, I think that they deserve one, especially when you have the Usos being hurt. I think they're a great team that's starting to pick up momentum, especially with the crowd, and so I think that they could get over the Ascension maybe. I don't know, that'd be a tough sell, but hopefully they work with the Ascension and they work with the New Day, and it'll be leading into us getting another tag team that's actually relevant.
Yeah. We just gotta wait and see. Hopefully they'll get the proper push that they deserve. Ascension, I think they just need to just kill it. Kill the New Day. Kill it all.
No, I'm totally different. I'm on the other bandwagon. And now that they finally listen to the crowd with New Day, man, it's working. Like, they have them come out on SmackDown and cut a live promo, and they're keeping them in the face gimmick. But it's great. You just gotta watch it. Keep watching. It's good TV.
Yeah. After that, we have another match. Luke Harper versus Ryback. Anthony, your thoughts on this match, and do you think Ryback has improved?
Ryback has never been a bad worker to me. I never understood all the stuff. Yeah, he's stiff, but he's a big roided up guy. Of course he's stiff. I think he's a great worker. I don't like how they continue to downgrade Luke Harper. Like, he lost easily this week. It was a no contest. And that's crap, because Luke Harper is such a better worker than that.
Yeah. Mark, your thoughts on this match between Ryback and Luke Harper, and do you think Ryback has improved over the few months?
Like Anthony said, his ring work, I mean, it's about the same. He's kind of like Sheamus. He's just a really stiff worker, which if you're going with somebody who's really tough and can take the hits and can dish them back out, it makes Ryback look even better. But as far as promo work, I'm glad he's keeping it short and sweet. He's gotten a little bit funnier over the time, so maybe he's coming into his own groove. But yeah, Luke Harper really has just fallen off ever since they took him away from Bray Wyatt as that tag team with him and Eric Rowan. But
he had the weirdest Intercontinental title reign ever. Like, it didn't make any sense for him to be champion, and he didn't cut any promos with the belt. He didn't have any feuds with the belt. Like, it was really weird.
Speaking of the Wyatt family and so forth, since they've been quote-unquote let go, what was the purpose of that? What were they trying to accomplish?
I have no idea. On SmackDown this week, they run the old Eric Rowan vignettes again, and I almost thought they were going to tell us that they were going to act like the Rowan never turned face. That's what I thought. But then they had a match between Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan on SmackDown this week where Wyatt winds up telling him that he's got to make an example of him and sacrifice him. And he does. By the way, Rowan loses. But I still don't understand the point in bringing them up. I've said it before, they will go down in the wrestling history books to me as the greatest failed potential gimmick of all time. Because this had potential to just be, it could have ran the whole storyline down the line, man, and they scrapped it. I don't know why they scrapped it.
Mark, your thoughts on this Bray Wyatt splitting up, and do you think that they were supposed to do something, or I don't know, because it's been kind of weird since they split up.
Yeah, we saw the spot at the Royal Rumble where we thought Harper and Rowan were going to go together against Bray Wyatt, and then they both turned on Eric Rowan, and yeah, that was the worst decision that I can see. I mean, they had such a great feud with the Shield. They could have even went against the Authority later on, and you could have went and turned Bray and the Wyatt family completely 180 around and made them face. Had a feud with the Authority, getting the down with the Machine, so we could finally get a payoff to those promos that Bray used to cut down in FCW. So, I mean, I don't really know where they're going. Hopefully we get a reunion maybe sometime down the line. I don't know.
Oh, man. Bray Wyatt knows he needs a reunion.
I don't know. Like, maybe... I just want to know what they were thinking. Like, I want to know what vision they had originally for the Wyatt family, and then I want to know what vision they have for Bray Wyatt now, because I can't figure it out. I'm lost.
When they split, I like Eric Rowan being a face, and I like Luke Harper being a heel, and they seemed like they had their own individual, character thing going, but then it was like, alright, so they're gone, they're no longer part of the Wyatt family, and you guys haven't created nothing for them, besides maybe Eric Rowan talking about he hates bullies. That's it.
But then he's not even using that. Like, one week you saw him not talking at all and playing with a Rubik's Cube, and he's the little innocent child that can't speak at all. The next week he's thanking John Cena in a promo, and then the next week he doesn't like bullies. Like like you said, they have no idea what they want to do with these two.
I mean, they have great potentials too, but I mean, they're just kind of boring now. I mean,
Rowan gets over. Like, when Rowan's out there, the crowd likes Eric Rowan. They really do.
Yeah. And I like Luke Harper in the ring, though, but his character is like, dude, like, what are you supposed to be doing? What are you out there for?
Yeah, like, we don't even know. They never even told us how Bray Wyatt found them. Like, we don't even know how they became in the Wyatt family.
Not connecting the dots.
Mark has a theory. Mark, tell the Wrestling Dudes audience your theory.
So they found Eric Rowan in a playground down near Mississippi and Louisiana, and on the road going to the next WWE event, they found Luke Harper in a truck stop.
I could buy that.
Wow, that would be an interesting backstage segment.
I heard there were movie producers, like, right when the Wyatt family started, they were trying to push really hard Vince McMahon to make a fictional movie about the Wyatt family. And if they did that, oh my God, I would be the first one in theaters.
I could see that happening. I would like for that to happen.
Exactly.
I don't know why Vince would reject that.
Do you know how much that would elevate Bray Wyatt as a character if you make his character be like a real-life story? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, because you have, like, Kane when he did the, what's that horror movie he did? Yeah, so, you kind of made his character more believable or whatnot.
Well, that's what you would do. Like, if Bray Wyatt is the true face of fear, if you made a movie where he could be exactly fearful, where he is this demonic cult leader, yeah, that would really make him fearful to me.
Yeah. But do you think that if he were to be in a movie that it would kind of kill his character?
Nope. It didn't hurt Kane?
Mark, you think it would kill his character if he were in the movie?
No, especially if he ran exactly with Bray Wyatt in a WWE Studios movie.
if he's playing the character Bray Wyatt, it can only elevate it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right, well, we'll talk more about Bray Wyatt a little later. Next up, briefly, we have the New Day promo and their reaction to acknowledging the crowd saying that they suck. Talking about when they don't, what was it? They say when they clap or don't clap, they snap or something like that. I don't know. Anthony, your thoughts of them probably turning heel soon?
The words are, when you snap, we clap. That's what they're saying. You can boo us, you can get on us, and we're just going to clap. We're not going to take it. Now, they take it to the extremes, like I said earlier on SmackDown, where they come out on microphones and do the whole entrance on microphones. It's really good, man. Like, you're not getting crickets, at least. You're getting some kind of feedback from the audience. I'm glad. If they're not gonna do the NOD gimmick, which is obvious, they're not gonna put them in suits. This is the next best thing, so I'm okay with it.
No NOD 2.0. None. Zero. It's stupid. I don't know.
So wait a minute. So when you first saw Xavier Woods wearing the suit and ties, and you saw him huddling the Kofi and Vinny up on the outside, and they were watching matches and talking, you didn't want to see where that gimmick was going? Like, you wasn't intrigued by it?
Nope.
Mark, were you?
Not at all.
Yeah, I was pretty interested. They then turned them into these little wannabe superheroes, which is kind of retarded, but I wouldn't mind seeing whenever the New Day finally snaps. I think that could be these superhero, like, bright colored people finally having enough of the crowd telling them that they suck and they finally go off. I think that could be a good story.
I don't know. So, like, they could be heels, but that whole Nation of Domination sort of stable, nah.
I don't think they were.
And then, you know what? And the thing is, too, that I feel like Big E is like the most awkward person in the group. Like, they could do okay with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, but it's like Big E is like so odd in a way.
You need to watch SmackDown this week, because when you do, I think you're going to realize that Big E is the new vocal leader of the heel New Day. Like, he's going to be the guy that gets the crowd to hate them. And you'll see what I mean when you watch the segment this week.
I'll try.
Yep.
Alright, next up we have the New Day versus Lucha Dragons. Mark, your reaction to this match, and are the Lucha Dragons officially over?
I think that the Lucha Dragons are going to be way, way over the top. You had the smart crowd in San Jose, and they introduced the WWE Universe to the Lucha Dragons and to a lot of the NXT stars. But this crowd in Austin, they kept right on with it. The Lucha chants, they were popping the whole time. Kalisto gets all of his spots. And then you also see the New Day pull out some heel tactics. They had the outside interference in the match, and they still lost. But hey, I mean, at least they're trying to interfere now.
Anthony, your reaction to this match, and do you think that the Lucha Dragons are over now?
Yeah, I think they were over in San Diego, but they're just continuing to get over more and more every single week. At this point, yeah, there's not much wrong they can do. They're just going to keep showing up and getting matches every week, and they'll be over. Yeah, I like what Mark said too about the New Day. There's just cutting heel promos isn't going to work. You're going to have to do heelish things and matches to really get hated.
Yeah, I'm a fan of theirs already, and I like them down in NXT. And I was really more so for Kalisto to be probably singles though, but they team up pretty well.
I think they're going to lean to a breakup down the line. Like, you're going to see a Sin Cara Kalisto feud whenever Kalisto gets big enough to carry himself.
Yeah. sticking to a new heel, a new gimmick, or just, actually, them sticking to the face or change it to a heel or a new gimmick? What will make them be liked more?
And they're definitely already on the full-fledged turn. Like, they're not, I wouldn't even call them face anymore because they're not. But I just go with what they're doing, man. Just, the crowd tells you what to do. I mean, they really do. So if the crowd is going to boo them and they're going to chant New Day sucks, keep doing the claps. Because that clap is what they're chanting it to. And show them getting mad and frustrated when they do it. I love it, man. It's getting the crowd involved with it. So leave it the way it is.
Mark, what do you think will make the New Day be liked by the fans?
Exactly what Anthony said. If the crowd's gonna boo you and gonna chant that you suck whenever you do the happy-go-lucky gimmick, then hey, do what Cena does. Just thrive off the hatred anyway and keep doing what you're doing. You can cut the heel promos, you can add in the heel wrestling, and just keep doing what you're doing, because apparently the crowd's gonna hate you one way or the other anyway.
They're getting over with a gimmick naturally that WWE wanted Bo Dallas to get over with.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said before, they suck altogether. So, who knows what will happen to them?
So what would you do? What would you do with New Day?
Well, I will get rid of Big E. Make Coffee and Xavier Woods a tag team and get rid of that stupid happy-go-lucky gimmick. It's just awful. It's corny.
So you're gonna just change them up completely and just repackage them, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So you saying that they suck, aren't they already heels then in your mind?
I mean, it depends on, because in my mind, they're really not heels. They're still corny little faces that I just hate. I mean, it's no different than John Cena. I hate John Cena, and I think John Cena sucks, but he doesn't suck. You get what I'm saying? But he's not a heel in my eyes.
Here's where they stop me in the face. Because John Cena never stopped me in the face for the simple fact that when we chant John Cena sucks, he doesn't acknowledge it, or if he does, he immediately acknowledges all the people that cheer him. New Day stopped me in the face the moment they acknowledged the boos and decided to play off of it. Once you do that, you're not a face anymore, you're a heel.
And Big E cutting the promo on the little kid at the airport? Like,
yes.
Come on.
Yeah. He's heel, man.
Oh.
They're all the way.
When he cut the promo?
It was on Monday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was in the back. When they were cutting the promo about you clap. I guess you tuned out when they said the "I snap when you clap" thing, but it was during that promo. Anyway, he does it again on Thursday too. He cuts another promo on the little fan in the front row about how they get in at 5 o'clock in the morning on the flight and they're holding it a sign for them to sign, but the New Day sucks and they suck so bad, blah blah blah. So. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I typically tune out when they're on.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I can give them credit for that's kind of catchy is the clap.
Well, yeah, and that's actually going to be what gets them over the most, because when they do it, the crowd says New Day sucks. So, yeah, it works. It's going to work.
Yeah. All right, next match of the night, we have, for the billionth time, probably the most match or two competitors that have faced each other since Rusev and Jack Swagger. Roman Reigns versus Big Show. Anthony, your reaction to this match we've seen so many times?
I got none. Mark said it best when he said that they probably should have swapped out Luke Harper and Big Show. That way we just would have got a different variety of matches. Roman Reigns could have worked Luke Harper and Big Show could have worked Ryback. But, you know, it was what it was. Roman did what Roman does, so.
Mark, your reaction to this match, and do you think that Roman Reigns is improving?
15 times in 3 months. Like, that's ridiculous. Especially with the talent that you have on the roster. Like, you can't find a different matchup. Like, your booking's that lazy that you have to give me this match 15 times in 3 months. Other than that, yeah, I don't think Roman's really like improving. Like I don't think that he was ever bad, to be honest. Except for on the promos. Promos, yeah. I mean, like I said about Ryback, just keep it short and sweet, and maybe eventually you'll come into your own zone and you can cut your own promos and whatnot. But yeah, like Anthony said, could you have at least given me Ryback versus Big Show, Luke Harper versus Roman Reigns? That would have been a lot better of a variety, at least.
What really bothers me is this notion that Roman Reigns and people like John Cena only have 5 moves. But if you look at Daniel Bryan has a bunch of kicks, a bunch of drop kicks, and that's pretty much it. Like, every wrestler you can name has 5 or 6 moves. That's all they have. So this notion that Roman Reigns or John Cena can't wrestle is bogus. Like, I don't understand where it comes from.
It comes from the fact that while they're writing the shows, they don't allow them to do the variations. Like we were talking earlier about Seth Rollins not giving it his all and not pulling out all the stops like he used to in the Shield. The same could be said with Daniel Bryan, because he used to wrestle a lot different. And I think that they get into this pattern of, well, I have to do this spot because it gets over with the crowd. I have to do this spot because it gets over with the crowd. And so it just turns into repetition.
When Daniel Bryan starts doing those kicks when they're on their knees, you can call the next minute and a half of the match. You know exactly what's coming. You know he's going to throw him in the corner. He's going to hit the 2 drop kicks. They're probably going to duck under one of those kicks and get him in a reverse sunset flip. Like, you just know what's coming.
Yeah,
But see, to me, that's just as
I don't know.
To me, that's just as boring as a Roman Reigns match or a John Cena match.
I mean, I don't mind the 5 moves of dooms, as everyone would call it, though. But every now and then, it would be nice to see something new from each superstar. Like, you don't have to like show something new every single match, but show us something like that will wow us. Like at WrestleMania, when he did that, what was it, the reverse counter, spring stunner or something.
Mm-hmm.
That wowed me. I was like, whoa, what is going on here? This is a new Cena right here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect him to do something like that every show, but maybe once in a while it'd be nice to switch up and do something new.
But see, that's the thing. If he didn't do just the 5 moves of doom every match and he would wrestle variation every single night, then would you have not have said so much wow into that one move?
Not necessarily.
Not only that, I don't know if you remember on the podcast, he said he actually has 7 moves now, but when he does use 7, he makes sure that he only uses 5 in the match. Because he will actually take a move away if he adds a new move. So you'll actually lose a move in the 5 moves of doom if he does a new move.
That's still 5. but it's whatever. Hopefully we'll see something new from Roman Reigns as far as his movesets and so on. But you guys feel like he's going to get back in the title picture?
No, unfortunately I don't. And I mean, he might be in it, but he ain't gonna win it. And no rhyme intended. I hate it too, man, because I feel like he got screwed. I feel like we, the IWC, screwed Roman Reigns because he did nothing to lose this spot.
Yeah, I hate to admit it. I think I was one of them too, because I was very critical of Roman Reigns basically getting that push. However, I felt like, well, since he's in this spot, he might as well win it. And he didn't. So, like I said, I feel bad. Mark, what about you?
I think that he'll get a push to a title eventually. Do I feel bad that I was part of the crowd that said that he sucked? No, he sucked on the mic. And in my opinion, you at least, if you don't have a manager, i.e. like Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, then you should be able to talk, i.e. Seth Rollins. So, I mean, I enjoy Seth Rollins being champ, and I think that he was the more rounded and the more polished talent. Yeah, that's because he worked 10 years in the Indies. and he's been doing this craft for probably about 10 years longer than Roman Reigns has. And I think that Roman Reigns will get into his groove and that he'll show everybody just what he can do in the ring. But right now, I think that it was the correct move to put the title on Seth, and maybe this summer or later on this fall, we might get Roman as champ going into WrestleMania season.
On SmackDown tonight, there's a point where Daniel Bryan is in the ring, and the crowd lets out a loud "We want Roman" chant while Daniel Bryan is wrestling, which is something I would not have predicted. If Roman Reigns were the champion and had he won at WrestleMania, I think it might would have buried his career because the crowd was not going to have it. Now that he hasn't won, all of a sudden people like me and Dan feel guilty as crap. We're like, all right, now we like Roman Reigns again. Which goes to show.
Hold on. I didn't say I like him.
Well,
I just said I felt bad for him.
Well, don't worry. There's about 10,000 that are all over his jock. They just can't get enough Roman Reigns all of a sudden. Which, that's not what I heard in San Jose or Philadelphia. So, I don't know where these fans are at, but we were there on Thursday night. They're all over Roman Reigns.
Oh, let's just put him on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because they weren't at one of those quote-unquote smart, bizarro world things. If you see him get chants and pops coming up on UK on Monday Night Raw, then you can say that he's getting a little bit more support. And even more so at this next pay-per-view in Chicago. If he gets pops in Chicago, then you can say that they finally turned the page on hating on Roman.
A lot of that's going to depend on who he's facing, because as of right now, we don't even know who he's fighting.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I won't be cheering him if I'm in that crowd in Chicago at Extreme Rules. But I might be the only one chanting CM Punk.
I hope that you are sitting right by the aisle that he walks down, so we can have video proof of you patting him on the back as the big Roman Reigns fan.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Tapping Roman Reigns on the shoulder?
Yeah, exactly. You'll be like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely do it just because he's right there. But, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to deny that, but the fact is that, like I said, I'll attend Extreme Rules only because I expect just 0.00001% chance that maybe I'll see CM Punk there.
I feel bad for even putting that thought in your head, because it's my fault. I should have never said anything. Because now you're probably like, it's going to start it like that, but I guarantee you as it gets closer and closer, that .001 is going to get up to like 5%, 10%. The day of the show, you're going to be at 50%. You're going to be like, you might be out here. He's coming.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, he's going to come right after the
I doubt that he's even going to be in Chicago when that thing rolls around.
Probably not. I want to know when he's fighting, dadgummit. Somebody needs to give me an update on when this man is fighting.
I thought he already had like an opponent already.
No, he hadn't picked one yet. I think he hadn't even decided a weight class yet.
So you think he's going to fight this year?
No, I think it'll probably be, if he does, it'll be like December.
Oh man, I just want to see him Punk back just for one night only.
What? They did it for Ronda Rousey, dadgummit. They should be able to do it for CM Punk.
Go watch a Blackhawks game.
What was that?
Go watch a Blackhawks game. You might see him.
Yeah, he's there in every one of them, so just go to the Blackhawks game.
Yeah. Yeah, more than likely I'll run into him at a Blackhawks game because he's a Cubs fan and I'm certainly not going to go to no Cubs game.
Well, hopefully if I run into Phil Brooks next week in Chicago, I will make sure to give evidence to all of our viewers.
Just to let you know, if you do run into Philip Brooks, just let him know that there's a guy who's a fan. He's a big, huge fan. His name is Daniel Tanner, and he would like an autograph.
I can do that, but then I will also tell him that you're a White Sox fan, and he probably will sign something really ugly on it. So.
I mean, you can lie and say I'm a Cubs fan, too.
No, I'm not even giving you the satisfaction of being a fake Cubs fan. You're not doing that.
It's all good, because in about a few weeks, he'll be at this comic convention that, I'll attend, and hopefully I'll meet him.
And you need to go ahead and get that recorder, because we are going to have CM Punk on Wrestling News Radio. It's going down.
Yeah. tonight is the Divas pushing for a battle royal next week. Anthony, your thoughts on this? Does it seem like the Divas were kind of being too flirty with Kane?
No, because that's part of what sells aesthetics. And secondly, they have confirmed that they will have the Battle Royal on Monday night, so it is confirmed on SmackDown.
Mark, your thoughts on the Divas Battle Royal?
Hopefully we see some surprise, maybe an NXT person or two. If they don't win the Battle Royal, at least maybe be in the Battle Royal to get some more exposure.
Charlotte.
But as far as the Divas, like, trying to flirt with Kane has to be the most flirted with person on that roster. Like, he's went through some divas, dude.
Lita, AJ. Okay, I got two.
Lita, AJ.
Oh. Let's leave AJ out of this.
He married Tori.
I'm sorry, man. We can't let the past go, man. Yeah, Tori Wilson. Wow.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. Kane is a back daddy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's no chick mag now,
I think stats don't lie, sir. He's been around the block.
Yeah, maybe. Alright, so who do you guys think is going to win, and who you think is probably more than likely should be the number one contender?
I'm going with Paige, and if she won, she should be number one contender. So I'm going with Paige.
Mark?
Who do I think is going to be it? Is probably Naomi. Give her a shot at the Divas title. Who would I like to win it? I'll go with Paige, or if they actually do bring in an NXT person, probably Charlotte. I think that would be a great way to introduce her.
Is Brie Bella in this battle royal?
I don't know. She should be.
Because if Brie Bella's in the battle royal, there's a chance she could win it. And then they would do the Brie Nikki thing. They would have no choice but to do it.
I would support that breakup if it happens.
Yep.
Yeah, because Nikki does have the new T-shirt that says "The Real Bella" on it. So yeah, I mean, Anthony could be right. Brie probably will win it.
I hope so, because the last 4 Divas tag matches have all involved the Bellas knocking each other out. So they better do something with it. Or else that's just a wasted story.
Yeah. Yeah, like Mark said, if they include maybe NXT, I would like to see Charlotte win it. Probably Naomi will win it. Who knows? Alright, next up we have Barrett. Well, we found out that Barrett will use his rematch clause versus Daniel Bryan at Extreme Rules. Mark, your thoughts on this? Are you excited to see this match again? Or whatever?
I think that it'll be a great match. Am I excited to see it? Not really. I mean, I could just as easily have seen a fatal 4-way between him, Dolph, and Sheamus and Barrett, and that would have been just as great, if not better. But I am kind of upset that we don't hear no more bad news.
Yeah, me too. It's disappointing.
Yeah, the fact is, Vince McMahon made a decision that, the IWC decided to repeat that I've got some bad news, and apparently we're not allowed to say things that he'll say, because when we do, they take it away from him. So, no more podium, no more bad news. We're back to boring Wade Barrett, which sucks terribly. No, I'm not excited for this match. I just went for a 7-man great ladder match to the loser that got embarrassed time and time again against the new champion. I know the title ain't going nowhere. No, I don't. I could care less. I probably won't even watch this match.
I'm more than likely going to watch this match because, 1, it's in Chicago, and 2, never mind, I keep 2 for myself. Say what?
How are you going to do that on the air of the podcast? How are you going to hold out on the listeners?
I for some crazy reason, I just keep feeling like that CM Punk's going to interfere in something.
Oh, God.
Something. I don't know.
Dan's going to go into this pay-per-view with his hopes at, like, skyrocketed like way up here, and he's gonna be so let down.
That's my suggestion. Is during that match, you should just go on a CM Punk search. It'll be more productive.
I mean, you know what? Last year I was like, okay, I came to closure with the whole CM Punk is never coming back, but it seemed like every time there's going to be a pay-per-view in Chicago, I have to, have some sort of hope.
You know what? I'm gonna laugh if they hit the music anyway. If Paul Heyman trolls you again, that would be amazing.
Ah, man, I hated Paul Heyman for that. I mean, that was great though, but I hated him for that.
I'm glad it was him over anybody else. Over anybody else, it wouldn't have worked. I thought personally they shouldn't have done it at all. Like, I wouldn't have even acknowledged him. I thought the best thing they could have done is not acknowledge him. Then they went through a stretch where all they did was acknowledge the crowd chants. And I'm like, really? Just stop. The guy's not coming back. There's no need to keep acting like you love.
Speaking of the chants, it's so funny that now that Ada is gone, that they kind of pretty much respected her to the point where every match she was in, you hardly heard any CM Punk chants.
Well, yeah, it stopped. Like, it stopped a couple of months ago. Like, I think when she came back, it was a thing that I didn't see was really fun. I know it was going around in a lot of the forums a lot. A lot of people were downgrading the people that chanted CM Punk, and like I think Mark pointed out at the crowd that chanted the obscene gestures during the Diva match, they got really upset at the fans that were chanting CM Punk, which is why they started those obscene chants to begin with. I'm glad that it faded out over a while. AJ should never have been referred to as just CM Punk's wife. At this point, you know what? I'll go a step further. She was so good at what she did, he should be referred to as AJ Lee's husband.
Wow. They all should get their proper respect. I would like to have seen more AJ Lee chants when she fought, but it's too late. Maybe we could hijack the Divas division by chanting AJ Lee.
Can you notice, during this episode...
But that would be rude, though.
Can you notice, Mark, during this episode, that whenever Dan talks about AJ Lee, he just has this sad... he sounds like his best friend or his dog is dead.
Yeah, that poor puppy dog voice is pretty funny.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We have to move on. I'm sorry. All right, guys. So, basically... Unless you're pale, unless you have a mohawk, unless you have a braided beard, you're not a real man. Sheamus comes out, does his real man promo, and then Mark Henry comes out and he destroys Mark Henry, which Mark Henry gets destroyed quite a bit now. It's kind of like a Punk now, if you ask me. Anthony, your thoughts on this?
Mark and I have decided, since we are both pale and redheads, that we are going to go get mohawks, and we will fit right in with being real men. So that's our next plan. I hated that they embarrassed Mark Henry in his hometown of all things. I wouldn't have used anybody else in that spot but Mark Henry, and I would have had Mark Henry meet, I don't know, Xavier Woods. Just something. Mark Henry needed a spot, and they didn't give it to him, and I still like Sheamus, though. I never thought I'd say that, but this heel Sheamus works for me.
Mark, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think Sheamus as a heel, cutting the promos, and "Are you not entertained?"
Love it.
And just playing up to the crowd is great. He's really laying on the heat thick. I really don't know why they brought in Mark Henry for this one segment. I guess they wanted to prove how manly Sheamus was, even though he opened up Daniel Bryan last week. And so, I really don't get how he could get any more heat by just beating a returning Mark Henry.
Okay, but at some point, doesn't somebody go up to Paul Levesque or Vince McMahon or Kevin Dunn and they say, they're looking at the match card and they go, hey, by the way, doesn't anybody know that Mark Henry isn't just a normal big guy, that we're in Austin, Texas?
And he's the world's strongest man.
And we're in Austin, Texas? Oh, my God. My head hurts.
Hey, so, let me ask you this, since we're on Mark Henry. Is it me? Because I seem like I noticed, some of the wrestlers that are, 40 plus like Mark Henry, Big Show, Kane, and maybe R-Truth. They're just there just to put other people over, and they just don't have a real significant role other than being glorified jobbers in the company.
Well, what other old guy in history hasn't played that role?
I mean, like you said before, the fact that they was in his hometown, it was like maybe they could have gave him a win or booked him with someone else so he can get a win.
Yeah.
But I guess his whole purpose was to get Sheamus over.
Which bothers me because you can do that in any other city. They could have did that next week. But when you're in the man's hometown, you don't make him the example. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah. Mark, you feel that way?
And I don't think that we really needed him to beat Mark Henry, to be honest. I don't even think that the match should have taken place. I think the Sheamus could have gotten just as much heat by if you put some local jobber on against him and let him beat the crap out of him.
That'd be a great gimmick.
Like beating the world's strongest man like it hasn't really been done before. Like, come on now. Give me something else.
I think with his gimmick, that is an actual great idea, Mark. If he went to every city and said, I'm the only real man in this town, and I'm going to challenge anybody in this town to see if they're a real man. That's a great idea. I love it.
Oh, I can go with that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? Before Mark Henry retires, and this is just a crazy idea, he has to go back to this one gimmick only before he is all said and done, and he has to go back to the sexual chocolate gimmick. That was my favorite moment of Mark Henry.
Well, first off, that's not going to work because Mae Young is dead. So, we can just scratch that. And look, he's not doing a Katie Vick with Mae Young. It's not going down there. So.
Wow. We need to see more hand.
I know, please God. That's the second worst hit they ever did. The first one was when JR's head got pulled out of his ass. That was awful. I don't know what they were thinking with that. I think Vince, and you know how long that lasted? That was like a 15-minute monologue. Like, I bet Vince literally just laughed his butt off writing that himself.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad. Sexual chocolate? I gotta agree with Dan on one thing, man. Like, we sit here and say that we gotta listen to the crowd. They chant sexual chocolate at that man every time he walks out. They're gonna have to do something with it at one point. They really are. Before sexual chocolate means by
it was a great moment for it. In fact, the music was great. I still listen to the music to this day.
Okay.
That's how awesome it was.
Okay, but it's not gonna work in 2015. That's kind of the point. You can't use that gimmick in this era. Like, it's not gonna fit.
I mean, they were used to. Well, they tried to use it for Viscera back then.
Yeah, but again, you're looking at back then, back when they were able to be a lot more risque than they're allowed to be now. Like, they're not allowed to push that envelope.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Mark, would you like to see sexual chocolate back?
Mark has no comments on this.
Mark us out.
Wow. Well, we gotta wait and see.
I'm gonna be sad when Mark Henry retires. I'm gonna say that, because Mark Henry, from the time he debuted, has always been one of the guys that I want to see wrestle. I love Mark Henry.
Man, I was sad when he trolled us about retiring. He literally had me in tears.
That was one of the best swerves I can remember in a long, long time. And they ruined the chance for that John Cena feud by doing a one and done. Because that would have been an awesome, awesome feud.
Yeah, it was brilliant. He had me going. Next up, we have the worst segment of the night, which was the Bray Wyatt promo.
Oh, God.
Though he lost to Taker at WrestleMania, he's still claiming to be the new face of fear. Personally, I am tired of this delusional crap. Anthony, your thoughts on his promo, and who is he talking about? And yeah, pretty much every promo should be who is he talking about. But your thoughts on him claiming to be that new face of fear?
Now, this is exactly why I told you earlier that I want you to try to give this little experiment a try, to where you watch a match and you just see the match for what it is and the story behind it, and just try to enjoy it. And I think maybe your hatred of Bray Wyatt will just start to lessen a little bit. Cause for the simple fact that, Dan, this isn't goatfish, redfish, bluefish, or green eggs and ham, okay? This is an in-depth novel. It's gonna require your brain to work a little bit. It's not gonna be from point A to point B. We're gonna take a couple of curves and swerves along this ride. But eventually, we're gonna get a nice little finish to it. It's not, alright, it's like sex, okay? You don't want to just hop in there and be done 1 minute later. You want to take time. You want to enjoy the thing. You want to build up to it. You gotta enjoy this Bray Wyatt ride, man. You gotta get on board rather than to be a critic. Come on.
Wow, this just went from G-rated to PG-13 podcast. Oh, man. But since you mentioned the old novel thing, I'd just rather have the cliff notes, just shoot me, and I'm great.
No! Mark, save me.
Okay, so if you don't know the back history of Bray Wyatt, he has an interview with Stone Cold. It's a 2-part series. You must go watch it or listen to it. He tells you how he develops most of his promos and how he developed his character in general. It's just a really great podcast. Yeah, it's not going to be your A, B, C, D finish. It's going to be some script, some cryptic message, some hieroglyph, and this, and then eventually you're going to figure it out. Kind of like how he started off the promos with Taker and everyone was like, who is he talking about? And he would give you little subtle hints, like he would have the nail and he banged it into the coffin, although we didn't know it was a coffin at the time. And yeah, the promos are great. He mentioned something about dedication and failure, and so, I mean, he could be talking about a number of people who are jobbers, or he could be talking about Roman Reigns, who tried his hardest and yet he failed, and he might be dedicated, but he didn't get it done.
And does not have a match at Extreme Rules yet, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So just enjoy the ride, listen to the promos.
Oh, and I have some bad news, by the way. If Bray Wyatt had called out Roman Reigns, spoiler alert, Roman Reigns ain't gonna win.
Yeah, so, oh my gosh.
You gotta stop. Like, you can't hate Bray Wyatt when he loses. You can't.
Like, he's been sending me on this roller coaster ride. I've been trying to enjoy the ride, but it's been a roller coaster ride for me. Sorry, guys.
You can't say you're trying to enjoy the ride when you reach the first loop and you're upset at the loop. You gotta you gotta get off the roller coaster before you decide.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt's just a jobber. But, moving on, we have the Big Guys mini promo, where he's kind of acting weird when he does his promo, where he's looking at the wall for some reason. Mark, do you notice that?
Yeah, he's probably just looking at somebody with some cue cards off stage, to be honest. But yeah, he could do a lot better job at really focusing in on the camera that's recording him. But yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Anthony, what you think about Ryback's promo?
He's like the white Zeus, the Devo from Friday. He got one eye looking this way and the other eye looking off into outer space. Like Ryback, I am over here. Give me a look. Either that, like, besides the eye contact, like, the words don't make sense either. He's like a modern day Ultimate Warrior that tries to be funny. I mean, Warrior was just Warrior, but I don't know what Ryback is. Less is more for promo-wise for Ryback.
You know, I think you nailed it on the head. He does sound a bit Warrior-like. The only big difference is between Warrior and him is that we can catch on to that weirdness now, saying that we're a bit older and not, you know, being fooled into all that. Yeah, he might have to cut a real good promo or stop looking at the wall or something, because it's getting kind of creepy, especially when you start talking in third person or something.
Well, this is the same man who had Paul Heyman kiss his bald forehead and tell him he's a big, beautiful man. So creepy and Ryback go hand in hand together, buddy.
Yeah. Alright, moving along to the main event of the night. We got Roman Reigns versus Orton and versus Ryback. Anthony, your reaction to this match?
It was really, they sold me all night long on it, man. They finally gave me a main event that I wanted to stick around and watch because I didn't know what was going to happen. I guess everybody but me saw the whole connect the dots, Randy Orton's the winner thing. I really honestly thought Roman Reigns was going to win. I don't know why. I guess it's because, I don't know, he got screwed at WrestleMania. So I figured they would give him his payoff. But whatever, I can see why they chose Randy Orton. I get it. So it served its purpose. Good job. That's all I really got to say about it. It was alright.
Mark, your reaction to this match, and did you honestly think that Orton was going to win this match?
Yeah, the match itself was pretty decent. Not really sure why Ryback is in there, but, I guess to fill another spot. I'm just glad that they actually had a number one contendership match. Like, that kind of, I don't know, that's like one of the few ones that they've had recently.
I can elaborate exactly on why Ryback was in the match. He was in the match so Randy Orton or Roman Reigns don't have to look completely weak against each other. So they gotta have that third variable in there that they can throw all the dirt off of, and that dirt catcher is Ryback.
Yeah, I understand that they didn't want Roman or Randy to catch the 3 count, and I understand why they picked Randy. He's been the top heel or top face going up against the Authority for quite a while, and I guess him versus Seth is already a feud, and he still is owed his rematch from a long time ago. So, yeah, it's a decent match.
Okay, so how long do you guys see this match or this feud continuing on?
I got Orton and Rollins in about 2 months, and then they're gonna move into Reigns.
Mark?
Yeah, probably sometime around June, mid-June, somewhere around there. They'll end the feud going forward and insert Roman in there and have him work throughout the summer.
I feel like that Bray Wyatt is about to work Roman Reigns for 2 months. And when they're done with that, they're going to switch off with Randy Orton jumping into with Bray Wyatt and doing the lunatic thing there. And Roman is going to take Randy's spot in this little feud here with Rollins.
Well, if Roman Reigns is going to face off against Bray Wyatt for the next few months, it doesn't really take much for him to really now look strong than ever. But, hey, it's whatever. So if Orton is going to feud with Rollins for the next couple of months, and you guys say that, all right, next is going to be Reigns, then where does that leave Brock Lesnar?
Brock Lesnar's not going to be around anywhere until SummerSlam.
Yeah, what is this? We're in April, so SummerSlam is in, what, August?
August. We got a while to go. So you got a good 4 months of no Brock Lesnar.
So do you think that when he comes back around SummerSlam, this could be a triple threat match, or could we see Roman Reigns win the title before Brock Lesnar comes back?
Mark, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I don't think that Seth Rollins is dropping the title. I don't think that they're going to give it to Reigns yet either. If they do give it to Reigns, it'll be later on down around maybe Hell in a Cell or something around there. Maybe even as far back as maybe give it to him at the Royal Rumble. As far as Brock's concerned, I think we might have 1 or 2 run-ins where he just comes in and demolishes everything, and Stephanie or Triple H say, well, you're still suspended, and I don't know really how he's going to get his suspension lifted. That's still some questions to be answered, but obviously he'll get its suspension lifted at some point in time.
Yeah. I really don't mind seeing a triple threat match at SummerSlam as long as it's going to be as good as the triple threat match at Royal Rumble, because that's something I enjoy personally. I guess the only way I can see Brock Lesnar coming back or that suspension being removed is if he tries to sue them and say, hey, he used his rematch clause and they're not going to, give it to him or anything. So, yeah.
The easiest way they can get around all that is the fact that he got suspended 1 week after signing a new contract. All we gotta do is say that there are the clause in that contract and say that he can't be suspended.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Or, he could have that, what was it, that quote-unquote storyline that Big Show had where he had that ironclad contract or something.
Yeah, but that was legit, though. Like, he bought... That only works for a heel. Because that's when you buy into the authority to do their dirty work, and then if you do their dirty work, you can't be fired. Because you remember, the Big Show got that deal by knocking out John Cena for John Laurinaitis.
Okay, so do we see Roman Reigns take the belt off Seth Rollins, and the only way that the authority feels that they can get it back is to have a triple threat match and introduce Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
So you think that...
I mean, either way it's going to go. He's going to kill both of them.
So you think that Brock is... See, Brock's not winning the title. Like, out of all these three, Brock's the one that won't win the title. They're not giving it back to Brock Lesnar. So if you're waiting on Brock to win a title, you got a better chance of Bray Wyatt having a winning streak.
Well, I don't see that Seth Rollins having the title all the way up until WrestleMania 32.
I do. I really do.
I find it very hard to believe that's going to happen. So either you're going to give it to Roman Reigns or you're going to give it to Brock Lesnar. Or better yet, we could possibly see Brock Lesnar at Money in the Bank.
When you wait a full year to even try to cash in that briefcase, if you waited a year to cash it in, that means they have a year to put it on you.
And as sleazy as he is, he can back himself out of so many failed opportunities from other people.
He did it with Brock Lesnar. He made Brock Lesnar and everybody think that we were having a title match that night, all the way until he got in the ring. And that was smooth, but I really can't see him losing this belt anytime soon.
The only way I can see that possibly happening is if the authority sticks around. That means they're going to be around for another year, having his back.
No, he could have J&J always, because they're his pain security. And then all you need is one more muscle. Doesn't matter who the muscle is.
Well, I guess we just gotta wait and see, because I'm interested in seeing who will win the Money in the Bank this year and who will win next year's Royal Rumble. And
the best way to get heat with what I would do if they had to get new muscle is I would team up with Sheamus. Because Sheamus has nothing better to do. Sheamus is a brute, and he's trying to get heat himself. And if you want to get both of them heat, you put them together. And that would just be magical, I think.
So you just get rid of Big Show and Kane.
Yeah, just throw them out. They're useless anyway. Sorry to any Big Show and Kane fans out there. All two of you, so...
What do you think, Mark? You think they should use Sheamus as a new muscle?
Nah. I think Sheamus should go out on his own and just stay on his own.
What is he gonna do?
Feud with Cena, feud with Dolph, feud with Daniel Bryan.
Those are feuds that Sheamus loses. He's a real man. He can't lose.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to win something big.
Yeah. See, I don't think he's winning. First off, just like I don't think that Rollins is losing the title, Daniel Bryan and John Cena are not losing their belts anytime soon. They got a better chance to keep their belts longer than Rollins does.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think that John Cena or Daniel Bryan could possibly win Money in the Bank this year?
Possibly, but I'm going to do you a step further. I have a bad feeling that they're both going to keep the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title all the way to Mania, and they're going to have a unification match.
So everyone's keeping their belt until Mania, basically.
Pretty much. I mean, why would that be a shock this year? Think about how many title changes we had. None for the World Heavyweight title. We had the World Tag Team title change once, I believe. No, twice. Stardust and Goldust did.
Yeah.
So they changed twice. The U.S. title changed once. And Intercontinental changed. Okay, that got stolen a lot, but it really only changed twice. So we're not really getting title changes every year anyway for any belt. So it wouldn't shock me, no, if we only had one change a year.
I found it very hard, with the exception of the Diva title, that we're going to have a full year of pay-per-views and not one title change.
And I'll go another step further. I think the Demons are going to start having longer reigning champions. I know that belt bounces around like a hooker on Broadway Street, but it's about, they're going to get some stability to it really soon, I think.
So that will still keep your interest if no title changes until WrestleMania.
Well, yeah, because when the title change happens, it means more.
Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I really don't see at least the three major titles, the heavyweight, the US, and the IC title changing very much in between now and next Mania. I mean, it may change once, going back and then back again to its respective owners currently. Like, they may drop it one pay-per-view, but just get it right back the next pay-per-view, and then go back on their streak again, just to kind of give it just a little bit of a break. But, yeah, I don't really see it changing back and forth a whole lot.
They don't even start throwing in curveballs until the Royal Rumble anyway.
Oh,
But
wow.
Dean Ambrose is winning Money in the Bank.
See, that's who I would think would win Money in the Bank, too. If I had to bank on anyone, it would be Dean.
It only makes sense if he wins Money in the Bank. Because, again, I feel like they should try to mix in Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins in a feud again, because they had a great feud last year.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand why he didn't try to prevent Seth Rollins to cash in, but I guess because he was broken in half earlier that night at WrestleMania, though. But yeah, I can see that happening, either that or Daniel Bryan winning Money in the Bank.
Yeah, but see, like I said, I don't think that the Intercontinental Champion or the U.S. Champion is going to pull down that briefcase, because I feel like they're trying to make those titles mean like barely one notch below the World Heavyweight title. So they're not going to, I really do. I think they're trying to make three giant belts, which I think is smart, because you need different divisions of people to fight, We can't keep having these same matches every single week. We can't have Swagger, Rusev, or Big Show Reigns over and over and over.
Alright, before we move on, I'm going to try to ask you guys something different than crazy. Something. If you had to name 6 guys to go into Money in the Bank right now, who would it be?
Wow. 6 guys in Money in the Bank. Luke Harper is always going to be the first guy named. Bray Wyatt, Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, Bad News Barrett, Cesaro, and Ted. Yeah, I'd go ahead and put the tag team in it.
Alright, Mark, your 6 guys in the Money in the Bank.
I would go with Luke Harper, Dean Ambrose,
I left out Dean.
Sheamus, Bray Wyatt, Dolph Ziggler, Stardust, and I don't know. Probably that's all I can think of at the moment.
Yeah, I'm taking out Ken Cesaro too, putting in Stardust and Dean Ambrose.
My 6 would be Bray Wyatt, Ziggler, Sheamus, Daniel Bryan. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to say John Cena, but I'm just gonna say Miz Down, and why not The Miz?
And you're probably going to have Bray Wyatt fall off a ladder down to 4 tables, probably.
So,
yeah, that'd be cool.
Why are you thinking that the U.S. champ and the Intercontinental champ are not going to defend their titles at Money in the Bank?
I don't think that they're going. I mean, I feel like one of them are going to lose by then.
Wow.
And more than likely, it's going to probably be Daniel Bryan.
Now, I know this is going to sound very contradictory of what I said earlier, what me and Bart keep harping on about wins and losses don't really matter. A little asterisk down at the bottom. When it comes to titles, they do. They do matter. So, You're not going to see many title losses, I don't think.
Yeah, well, Money in the Bank should be good this year.
Yeah.
Just gotta wait and see.
You know what
But,
the best thing about all this
yeah.
is? None of us know exactly. If we're debating, that means they have us guessing, and that's good.
Definitely. Hopefully, Money in the Bank will be as good as the ladder match at WrestleMania.
Yep. Excellent match. Excellent match.
It was. All right. Moving on, we have some announcements. I guess breaking news. In case you all didn't know, which you all should know now, SmackDown will be moving on to USA and won't be on Sci-Fi Network anymore. Anthony, your thoughts on this?
It's a great move, man, and I heard from reading more info about it that come 2016, they will be making SmackDown more about storyline advancement, and they'll actually be starting using SmackDown as well. Rather it being just some show where they throw matches together that don't even make any sense, which is what SmackDown is 95% of the time. They have good matches, but they just don't make any sense storyline wise. So I'm looking forward to the change a lot. We'll have 2 episodes a week that we can invest ourselves in.
Yeah, definitely. You think it's going to be live too?
No, it won't be live, unfortunately. I think they're going to keep the Thursday format. Because WWE's travel schedule, they work from Friday to Tuesday. They take Wednesday and Thursday off. They don't do house shows or anything. But Friday to Tuesday, they are working every single day and traveling. So they use Tuesday as that final tape day. They're not going to change their scheduling to make it live. It's just not going to happen.
Mark, what do you think about SmackDown moving to USA?
I think that it'll be a great move for not only the USA Network and adding some live content, some quote-unquote live content, because that's what they wanted to do, to bring in more quote-unquote millennials. That's what their president said. And I think that it'll actually boost the ratings of SmackDown, because it's on a larger network. You'll have more promos throwing out the SmackDown name on the USA Network, and you'll see more.
You're gonna see more WWE superstars on USA shows.
Yeah,
a lot more. So,
yeah, and at least I'll tune in for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's kind of tough trying to watch SmackDown or trying to find a Sci-Fi Network.
Yeah, you're one of the few people that I've heard say that. Like, I understand Destination America, but I thought everybody knew what the Sci-Fi Network was.
I mean, really, I don't watch the Sci-Fi Network.
I don't watch it.
There's nothing good on there.
I don't watch it, but I know. I mean, I flip the remote enough to know where it's at.
And I feel like, and as far as TNA, trying to find a destination channel or whatever, I found it like maybe once or twice, and
yeah, that's totally different.
A week later, I forgot what channel it was on.
On mine, it's channel 255, and my rule is, if I gotta put 3 numbers in for your channel, I'm probably not watching your channel. So, I'm just, I'm good on all that. So, I check TNA, but I hate to inform them that it isn't their Destination America.
Yeah. Also, you think it's going to be probably go from 2 to 3 hours, or just stick to 2?
What, TNA?
No, SmackDown.
No, it'll only be 2. I don't even think they want to do 3 hours now for Raw. They just signed on for it. If they sign on for a 3rd hour of SmackDown, they're stupid. I don't know. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. Because Triple H pretty much said in his interview with Stone Cold that he hates the 3-hour format, and everybody does, but they just make too much money not to do it.
Yeah, and that has... like, I'm sure that we are going to say we wish we had 3 hours whenever it goes back to 2 hours.
Oh, no.
But the thing is, I don't mind 3 hours. It's just that you got to keep me interested in it. By the 3rd hour, I'm like drained and I'm like tired, and I don't want to watch anymore because you guys haven't booked anything great.
If they did it every 6 weeks, like every 6 Raws, if we got a 3-hour show, it would feel special. Then I would be interested. I'd be excited. 3 hours every single week, especially when we get all these stupid repeat matches. Yeah, it's very hard to watch some weeks. So much so that I don't. During football season, it's very hard for me to give a detailed recount of Raw, because I can't do it that well.
Yeah. Mark, what you think about probably a 3-hour SmackDown show?
I don't think that it'll be in their contract. Although, who knows what NBC Universal wants to do. And they're the people who get the whole bunch of money from all the advertisements. So, I guess if they would like to do it and they fork over the money to Vince McMahon for a 3-hour program on Fridays, they might do it. But if they do it that way, can we just cut out superstars and main event and put them on the show? Like, not have it twice? Because you're already you're already getting 3 hours worth of programming on Mondays and Tuesdays. It's just they take the hour and they put it on the WWE Network as main event and superstars.
I don't watch main event or superstars, so I didn't know they still exist. But you never know.
I mean, if you had the network for $9.99, which you do, you should know that.
You know, the thing about it is I have not utilized the network to its full capacity. Like, I watch a few pay-per-views here and there from the past, and I watch, like, strictly pay-per-views. And maybe there might be a couple of documentaries I want to check out. Other than that, I don't know what actually goes on the network besides NXT, and that's it.
Do you watch NXT?
I try to, but I forget.
Well, the good news is on the network, you can watch it anytime you want.
Yeah.
I highly recommend watching.
I
highly recommend watching this week's episode. It's highly entertaining.
Yeah. Also on the network, I think we find out that Tough Enough is coming back this year.
It is. Tough Enough is going, and it looks like Nick Jericho may be the host.
Yeah. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be different without Austin.
Yeah, I hear it's gonna be a little more. It's gonna be scripted a little differently than years before. I don't really know what that means, because it's a reality wrestling show, so how different can it really be? But we'll see.
Alright, before we move on to the next breaking news. So, what is the purpose of Tough Enough versus having NXT?
NXT is established wrestlers from the indie scene, or people that are in this profession. Tough Enough is people like us that watch it on TV and think we can do it.
So more than likely, if you win Tough Enough, you're just going to get a contract to go through NXT, and if you're good enough, then you'll make it up to the main roster.
You realize that Naomi is a product of Tough Enough.
Oh, yeah?
So is Cameron.
Yep, both of them are.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep, they did not win, but they were divas from the show, not from the Raw Diva search.
Which is hilarious, because the winner of Tough Enough is no longer on WWE.
Or anywhere, for that matter. I think he wrestles in England.
Has there ever been a winner of Tough Enough that still is on the roster?
Nope.
Wow.
Maybe.
So it's okay to be a loser on Tough Enough.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, 4th and 5th place even, for that matter.
Mike Mizanin's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably the best to come out of there.
By a long shot. It's not even close. He had the job for one, not to mention a main event spot.
Yeah.
The Miz is really like, he went from being the host of SmackDown. We've said this on a couple of other podcasts. I just can't say enough how awesome The Miz really is. No pun intended. He went from being just a guy who watched this one day and said, I think I can do that, to being a main eventer on that same level as a John Cena. You know what I mean? And he's awesome.
Yeah. Another news that we have is that I guess TMZ broke the news. It was rumored that Hulk Hogan's wife was, I guess you could say, pulled to the side by Scott Steiner at a airport, and he threatened to kill Hulk Hogan. Mark, your thoughts on this?
This is two old people that I wish I didn't see in the news any longer. I think that Scott Steiner's delusional, and I think some medications that get injected by shots kind of went to his brain. And I think that he thinks that wrestling's still real to him, damn it.
It's still real to me, too.
Go
ahead.
I heard through the grapevine that Mr. Hogan is pushing for either a retirement match or, and I quote, a World Heavyweight title match at WrestleMania 32. So if Scott Steiner is planning anything, please do it before April. Please.
Okay, so I'm going to make another unpopular opinion based on what Anthony just said.
It can't be worse than that. Go ahead.
If Hulk Hogan is planning a retirement match or whatever,
it is worse than that. Okay.
I'm okay with that. All right, one and done. You're great. Send him off on a high note. If he's trying to plan a nice little run with the title, I find that very hard to believe with everything that's going on. But I think the little 10-year-old kid inside of me might be okay with that.
No!
What?
No!
Are you serious?
No! This is worse than your Bray Wyatt opinion. You just justified a 16-year-old man with bad back and knees and a leg drop wearing a feather boa and a sponsor for Rogaine as our World Heavyweight Champion?
Just for a month.
Not even for a day. That just made your whole roster look weak as all get out. The Undertaker had a streak of 20-0, but when they put him against the Beast, even they say, you know what, he can't be here. We can't even make that believable.
So are you gonna have WrestleMania? Are you gonna have WrestleMania 32 be the retirement, the end of the era? Like him, Sting, and Taker, all three just retire after this?
Can you picture 100,000 people in Dallas, Texas, cheering at the end with Hulk Hogan waving the title? Do you really think they're going to be Hulkamaniacs, or do you think that it'll be NWO all over you when they litter the ring? They'll just throw shit.
So, alright, here it goes. If I'm creating this to happen, for him to have a title, Royal Rumble, he comes out there as a surprise entry, he wins it, goes to WrestleMania, fights whoever's the champion, beats them, then in that same night, or even the next night on Raw, he retires and the belt becomes vacant or whatever.
They just pretty much said, I'm so much better than your entire roster that I can beat your top guy for it, but nobody's going to beat me, I'm just going to drop it. Screw that. If he's winning the belt, he should get ran over in his title defense.
And you just put him on the top of two of your biggest shows? Like, this isn't the 90s anymore.
Not only that, it isn't WCW and he don't have creative control. Like Hulk Hogan would write it that way in WCW.
It's Hulk Hogan. It's Hulkamania.
He wrote it that way. He made himself unstoppable in WCW.
What about in WWE in the early days?
Vince McMahon made $1 million off of him.
And he was 30 years, younger than he is now.
Yeah, and you're trying to tell me that a 60-year-old man is my World Heavyweight Champion. Because the 10-year-old you loves it. Guess what? The 10-year-old you was 20 years ago.
Okay, maybe I want this to probably happen just a tiny little bit because I feel like WWE need to redeem themselves for how they did Sting just past WrestleMania, and so why not?
And how excited were you for that before it happened? And how did you feel when he shook Triple H's hand?
Okay, before that, I was ripping this match because I felt like Triple H was going to have a bad match. The match itself was not bad. Everything would have been great if he didn't shake his hand.
Okay.
That pissed me off.
Point is, they're always going to find a way to stick it to you. Hulk Hogan, we can go on and on and on. This will be a separate podcast, I think. Because
the reasons why a 60-year-old
next year at WrestleMania.
Just the thought of it, like I'm already, Mark, I'm gonna have to go dissolve ibuprofen as soon as we're done recording here. I got a headache now from the thought of Hulk Hogan being the heavyweight champion at the end of WrestleMania. I cannot think of anything else in wrestling that would upset me more.
David Arquette.
No, I wouldn't endorse David Arquette. Bring him back. Bring back Courtney Cox, Mr. Courtney Cox. Put the belt on him. I'm fine with it.
That is so disrespectful right there. Like, you know what? We really have to say this for another podcast. Like, you finna really, really bring out the rage.
Hulk Hogan shall lay down. Finger poke him down to David Arquette.
Oh, man. No, we should do a podcast like on like, worst moments in WCW. Just get it all out.
I'm gonna see it. I'm actually, that's one thing I agree with Russo with. I don't see the big deal with David Arquette being champion for a day. It got them on the news. It got them ratings. It's great. What's wrong with it?
It was a dark day for me.
Oh my god. All right, we'll do that another time. We'll make that after our 7-part series, and we'll tackle that. So.
All right. Last but not least, we get to see the Jericho podcast on the network after Raw went off, and his guest was John Cena. Anthony, your thoughts on everything that John Cena said and everything that Jericho asked, from the 5 moves of doom to the stories to him possibly being a heel?
I think that they talked about John Cena being drunk way too much on the network. There are kids that actually have that $9.99 and can watch that anytime they want. Even though we all know, like when you get on YouTube, you can see videos of John Cena drunk karaoke into Hank Williams Jr. Like, it's no secret that he loves to drink booze. Also, if you've ever seen a Ric Flair interview, he has no problem telling you that he made John Cena an alcoholic. He brags about it all the time. So, besides that, I enjoyed the old stories and how close they really are. I like how candid John tried to be, but he gave me the WWE answer of why he can't turn heel. That is not the John Cena answer.
Yeah. Mark, your thoughts on this podcast and him possibly turning a villain and the stories in the 5 moves of doom?
Well, I mean, like Cena said, he had the gear, he had the new music, he was all ready up and for it. So, obviously, whenever Vince and Kenny McMahon decides that as part of this story of the career of John Cena, it's time for him to go heel, then he'll go heel in a second, and he won't complain about it one bit. I'm sure he'll still do the cool stuff that he does with the Make-A-Wish Foundation and granting all the wishes if little kids don't really just hate him at that point in time. I thought the stories were cool. The van rides and everything like that.
I'd like to know if Hollywood Hulk Hogan stopped his, if he got Make-A-Wish appearances as Hollywood Hogan, because I'd like to believe he did.
Yeah, I'm sure he probably did.
Yeah.
But also the part about the new talent not going out on a limb and trying to make waves, and he kind of wishes that they would just take the bull by the horns and actually go out and do something. I thought that was pretty nice.
I know.
It kind of leads back to what Anthony said about him trying to help out the younger talent, though.
See, and I'm going to disagree, because that's something I took a problem with what he said. Because you're sitting there saying that you reached out for the brass ring, so if people stood under the limb like you did, then it would be okay. Now, I agree. I'll admit, I'll give him credit where he's due. He pulled the rapper gimmick, but he also didn't come up with that himself, okay? He was freestyling on a bus one day, and somebody said, hey, that's a great gimmick, so you should try to bring that on TV. It's not like John Cena stood out and he said, well, I'm going to make myself. Somebody gave him an idea and he ran with it. But so he's pretty much saying with that comment that the Dean Ambroses of the world and the Dolph Ziggles of the world don't try hard enough. And that's crap, dude. I'm not buying that one bit.
Yeah, my thoughts on the podcast, I thought it was surprisingly good compared to the Stone Cold podcast. I know a lot of people felt like it wasn't going to be as great as Stone Cold, but it is what it is. Jericho's a stand-up guy.
I
I
didn't like the
enjoy.
way I didn't like the way he looked into his eyes during the show.
Like he was in love.
Yeah, like he got like really up close to his face and he had his lips poked out.
Right. Speaking of eye, what was up with John Cena's eye? Like, did that happen from Cody?
Yeah, Cody messed him up, man.
Wow. Wow. It's messed up. But yeah, I was really hyped up to hear about how he was close to being a villain or a heel or whatever. And I was like, this is awesome. He would have been my number one favorite WWE superstar. I would have bought his T-shirt and everything. But you know what? He let me down. But the stories with Funaki and Tajiri and stuff, they were funny. And yeah, I think John Cena's probably alcoholic in a way.
No, there's no doubt about it, actually. It's 100%.
Yeah, but as far as the heel, screw the kids, be a heel.
It ain't gonna hurt him. They'll still want to see him. Like he said, he says it in his space promos all the time. The ones that are gonna boo me are gonna boo me, and if you want to cheer me, you'll cheer me. So if you be dirty, the ones that are gonna cheer you will stick by you.
It's not just that I'm going to boo him because I don't like. I want him to act the role. Act like a heel.
Yeah.
Act like, do something. Attack somebody. Say something wrong. Say something. Do something bad.
I don't even need it to be heelish. Like, I'm kind of enjoying, even at Space Cena, like, the way he brought it to Rusev in the promos. Not besides the American crap, that got annoying, but whenever he just straight up said, I'm going to come out there and I'm going to kick your ass, I love it when John Cena does that. That's when he's awesome to me.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't like it when he does the cheesy rhymes. Like, that's dumb.
Yeah. So when's, like, the next podcast going to be with Jericho?
I think they're doing a monthly. I don't think they've announced the next one yet.
Yeah, because I know he had another podcast show later on that week. I'm not sure if it was going to be his own thing or was it going to be part of the network.
Yeah, no, it's only his thing. They're only doing the network once a month. But he's going to advertise his podcast all he can, so.
Oh, okay. All right, before we go on to our final thoughts and our grading, Raw, who do you think should be on the podcast, or who would you like to see on the podcast?
For the Jericho?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You know what? Being honest with you, this is going to sound terrible. Because I've already listened to, Austin and Ross anyway, so I've heard a lot of the guys in the normal podcast. If I were going to have one on the network, other than Vince and Triple H, who you've already had, I don't really care what anybody else has to say. Like, I heard John Cena, and if I had to name a wrestler, that would have been who I named, so. Yeah, I wouldn't really care what anybody else had to say that I couldn't listen to on the audio.
Yeah. Mark, who do you think should be on the podcast on the network?
Just because they have such great history together, if we could have a Stephanie McMahon, Chris Jericho podcast, that would be hilarious.
Okay, I take it back. I would watch that. I would.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Mark on that too. I would love to see that. I think it's about time that we see her on the podcast and hear what she has to say.
I would also be okay with The Rock, just so he can grill The Rock about some things that we don't like, but,
Oh, yeah, speaking of which, John Cena really did Rock kind of dirty.
How would you
say? When they were shooting.
Not really. I think he actually did The Rock perfect. The Rock walked in there thinking that he was just going to walk through it in motions. John Cena made him get some energy behind it.
Yeah. Should have never thought about the promo on his arms.
I loved it. Whatever. That was the best part of it. From that moment on, The Rock stepped his game up. That's all it took to make The Rock get going.
Yeah, true.
Because he realized at that moment that he had been embarrassed in front of 40,000 people. He just got put on notice. The Rock.
It'd be cool to see Bray Wyatt on there. Ask him a few questions. Say, hey, dude, what are you talking about?
You really need to go back and listen to the Austin one, man. I think you'd really enjoy it. Like Mark said, Bray Wyatt goes pretty in-depth about how he came up with the character and where he wants it to go. Like, it's pretty good.
He must not want to go that far, but...
Oh, my God. Alright, we'll get to our final thought with that in a minute then, so.
Alright, Anthony, your final thoughts for Raw and your grade.
My final thoughts is I want Dan to just finally come around to understanding that wins and losses and less for titles are, they don't really matter. And folks, leave comments, leave Twitter, leave a comment and get on our side. We gotta get Dan understanding that Bray Wyatt is okay. So hashtag Bray Wagon. That's what we're calling it, Bray Wagon. I'm gonna give Raw a B just because I love the main event. There were a couple of matches that were just pointless. Roman Reigns, Big Show mainly. But other than that, though, I enjoyed the opening segment. I want to see where they go with this chain thing. I'm hoping that at least the Authority falling apart. Have no clue what they're doing with the Demon Division or the tag titles, but we'll see. I'm excited for it, though.
Yeah. Mark, your final thoughts on grade for Raw.
My final grade for Raw is probably a B. The opening segment and the opening first two matches were good. We had a little bit of a dry spell there at the middle part, but then we got the final main event, and yeah, hopefully they don't just drop off storylines like they have done previously post-Mania, and we still get something for our money's worth in our 3 hours that we spend watching it. But overall, yeah, I'm interested in seeing where the Divas division goes after AJ Lee's disappearance.
Yeah. Miss you, AJ. That did sound kind of sad.
You sounded sad the whole podcast when you sang the name AJ.
I miss her for real.
I understand. I mean, we all do.
My grade for Raw was a C+. It just didn't hold my interest like it did last week or probably the previous Raws before. My final thought is push primetime players, push Enzo Amore. What else? I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Other than that, I'm looking forward to next week's Battle Royal because I want to see who's going to be the number one contenders for the Divas title. So that's something to look forward to. And what else? Bray Wyatt needs to hook up with his brother.
Oh my God.
Maybe they can form something.
Well.
Other than that, that's it.
Alright, well, folks, you can get us on Twitter at Goons Radio. That's where we're at. That's where we do most of our social networking. Our podcasts are on Facebook as well at The Wrestling Goons Radio. Wrestling Goons Radio is the name of it. And at YouTube as well at www.youtube.com/Wrestling Goons Radio. For Dan, the host, myself, Anthony, and Mark, we will see you for this weekend podcast on the flip side.